Union 9 Télévision. Amis téléspectateurs, vous êtes branchés sur la télévision des Haïtiens vivant dans les territoires d'outre-mer. Une dimension nouvelle avec une qualité supérieure. Union 9 Télévision, une vraie source d'information impartiale.
Know who you are. Celebrate your culture. Life is a festival. Explore it with me, Lady Nay. Join us live Saturday from 6 to 7 p.m. Let's share information. Naptanou chaque samedi, 6h pour 7h du soir, as we discover Afro-Caribbean culture on Union 9 TV. L'union fait la force.
Hello and happy weekend to all of our faithful viewers and fans out there that are watching Afri Creole. It's another wonderful weekend and it's our pleasure to be with you so that we can share little stories, advice, anecdotes, different things that we know. Bien content pour me là avec nous. M'a demandé nous pour nous rendre un petit service, partager show pour moi. Share the show and call everybody you know, tell them to come watch Afri Creole with your lady, Lady Nay. Today we're going to be focusing especially on our health, mainly by way of mental health. It's very important to pay attention to mental health, our spirit, our emotion, our energy, because these things have a big impact on our day-to-day function. So I hope you're able to learn something from our discussion today. We'll be right back.
Total integrated programs and services.
Haïti, c'est un pays qui gagne en pile richesse. Richesse dans sa nature à côté pour lui, richesse dans le monde. L'aime te ti moun, n'te kon jouer dans pied mango. Nous manger ça qui tombe et nous vendre ça qui pas tombé. Puis souvent, c'est pour un petit crascob nous vendre ni dans voisinage. Kounia moins senti n'a bouger. Nous travaillons ensemble et n'a vinn plus fort. Mango nous a voyagé plus loin Kounia, côté le pas de jamais rive. Nous voulons partager mango. Nous voulons partager avec l'autre pays yon goût Haïti. Tout le monde connaît mango qui pi douce, c'est Haïti qui gagne. Et mango qui pi douce en Haïti, c'est dans le jardin qui sorti. Je souhaite nous tous manger à cœur content. Bon appétit.
You can help Total Integrated Programs and Services empower those in need in Haiti by sending an urgently needed contribution to tipsfoundation.com.
Union 9 Télévision.
Thank you, Uncle Will, for being on the show with us today. As I mentioned earlier, we're going to be paying attention to how we feel, talking about our feelings, our emotions, our mental state. And can you tell us what it is exactly that you do?
It'll be my pleasure. I am a psychotherapist with graduate degrees in psychology and social work. And for the past 20 years, I've been working with families and children to make sure they maintain a healthy mental attitude toward themselves and toward their lives in general.
I had considered being a psychologist at one time, and I noticed that I really had that interest when I was at my lowest, you know, like after a breakup, heartache, or something like that. I would say, oh, why do I feel this way? And how can I stop myself from feeling this way? But it's a very normal thing to have feelings. We want them to always be up, but sometimes we have challenges. Would you say that it's a good thing for us to experience these challenges in life?
Of course it is. Feelings are part of your natural cycle of life. Life is cyclical in every way you look at it. So is our mental health, our mental attitude, our approach. And feelings are something you need to own. Unfortunately, a lot of people never learn to own their feelings. If I'm feeling bad, I feel like, oh, why should I feel this way? But it's a feeling. Just like you're feeling good, it's a feeling. And a part of the process of life is to learn to own those feelings and accept them for what they are. Because that's when we begin to problem solve. Once we recognize this is a positive or a negative feeling, then you can decide how to deal with it accordingly. But you have to first own and accept the feeling for what it is.
You have to acknowledge it.
Exactly.
Well, especially in our society, men are not allowed to have feelings. You can be happy, but don't cry. Suspend crier.
Yeah.
You know, especially with the Caribbean population. Yo pa kite garçon crier, si ou crier, ou son ti what or whatever it is that they call. So, what do you think about men expressing their feelings?
I remember the whole adage, big men don't cry. That's not true. Big men do cry. And I think a grown man, a good man, a solid man, a man with a solid core center, I hope we will be able to talk about, is a man who knows I can feel. Even if I feel bad, it is okay. And other people tend to connect with us better if we can accept the way we feel, especially if it's a negative feeling. I think it's a fallacy to think just because I'm a man, I'm a male, I cannot feel bad. It's almost like I have to feel good all the time. That's a high responsibility and burden to carry. Soon or later, the bad stuff will come out. So if we don't allow ourselves to feel bad, we are backing up a lot of emotions that will eventually explode in a very negative manner. So it's good to face the negative emotions.
Union 9 Télévision.
Express Irrigation. Express Irrigation, c'est une compagnie qui baille service d'arrosage pour moun qui gen bel gazon la caillou, belle plante, belle fleur. Express Irrigation applique tout ça pour nous. Moun qui gen système d'arrosage qui pas travaille bien, système qui baille problème gazon qui t'a supposé vert, qui baille couleur jaune, arrosage qui manque pression, système d'arrosage qui bouché, qui pas travaille bien, plante qui nan mal d'enfance, qui pas grandir, une seule solution. Express Irrigation 917 468 39 26 917 468 39 26 ou bien à visiter au www.expressirrigation.com. Express Irrigation, une compagnie d'arrosage qui vient pour bailler plantes, fleurs, gazon, la vie qui va jamais finir.
We've been talking about how if you don't deal with your emotions that things will calcify. Calcification will set in. And before you know it, there's a wall. And we know that our government has been talking about walls because you want to keep things on one side, but that really, you know, some say that that's not the way to deal with things. So, speaking of doing things over and over and over again, sometimes we get into bad habits. How can we recognize and correct bad habits?
Okay. Habits happen because we're humans, and as humans, we get into stuff, and when we stay within certain behaviors for a period of time, it becomes a habit. It takes about 21 days, 3 weeks, to create a habit.
Okay.
And after you've done something for that period of time, naturally, you do it again. When it's a bad habit, sometimes it's very hard for you to see yourself in a bad habit. I always tell people, you need at least one person in your life who will tell you the truth about yourself, a truth that you will accept and not be defensive on. So I always recommend have people who will tell you the truth. Surround yourself with people who respect you for who you are, but people who can tell you really who you are and how you come across. I often joke around and tell that sometimes we are the figment of our own imagination. We think we're all that, but people don't see us like that. So the moment of truth happens when someone feels empowered to tell me, Wilny, what you just said is inappropriate. What you just did doesn't look good on you. You hurt me, what you just said. So having people like that in my life help me see me from a different perspective. Because you think about it, there are three realities in life. The way I see the world, the way you see the world, and the way the world really is. So the question is, which one is reality?
That's a tough question.
It's a tough question.
I'm stumped.
So the idea is, okay, you have your reality, but other people see your reality from a total different perspective. So sometimes we practice habits we think are okay, but from someone else's perspective, it's a bad habit. So I said one person. So the more people we surround ourselves with who are honest with us, the easier it is for us to be able to see life from their eyes. And then they can pick on the habits that are not so attractive. And then the last point is we need to learn to listen and accept the fact that my view of the world is not always the right one. My view of me is not always the right one. I need to be able to listen to someone else.
So, on dit que pour nous changer, ou besoin moun qui avait au cap ba la vérité.
Oui.
But moi-même, moi trouvé, surtout dans la communauté caribéenne, haïtienne, africaine, stuff like that, là nous parlons yon ak l'autre, même si nous disons bagay qui gen vérité, nous disons avec trop, you know, hand or too harsh. Jean nous parle yon ak l'autre, nous parle non gens que ou fait moun nan pas même vle tande et ou ap essayer aider moun nan. Mais nous quitter trop frustration mélangé avec vérité.
Il y a un problème, remarquez que l'être humain en général, pas simplement les gens de la Caraïbe, les gens de source africaine ou haïtienne ou autre, c'est que l'être humain, naturellement, yo trouvé un genre toujours juger l'autre. Vous comprenez? Ça signifie que si vous avez un comportement, pas aimé, immédiatement, vous venez juger. Et l'aime pour position juge là, vient dur. Vous comprenez? Parce que, étant que juge, il faut me corriger. Ce n'est pas rôle moi pour me corriger. Vous comprenez? Si je viens approcher, non, on sort de correction, je suis dur avec vous. Mais si je viens côté étant qu'ami, pour m'aider, je j'ai une autre mentalité, une autre approche. Alors, je suggéré que l'approche là soit une approche amicale, une approche d'encouragement.
Okay.
Une approche qui veut aider, mais laisse une approche qui veut corriger, qui veut dresser, quand on parent, quand petit monde, son approche qui n'est pas vraiment bien reçue. Parce que si je viens, m'a jugé, m'a pointé du doigt, me dit avec ou pas écouter.
Tout le monde grand monde,
Tout le monde
grand monde, pas besoin de temps des personnes,
Ouais.
things like that. Et nous pas développer comme une société.
Exactement, exactement. Alors, approche là excessivement important. Faut nous changer tout, que nous-mêmes propres, nous ne faute pas nous. Et nous pas voulons nous approcher, nous quand on dictateur qui dit nous ça pour nous faire. Parce que nous pas devons faire pour l'autre monde non plus. Faut nous approcher avec un peu de douceur, un peu de tendresse, un peu de sagesse. Ça, je dis comme ça que c'est mieux que nous accepter. Par exemple, un exemple. Si par exemple, je parle avant, moi, font faute, je dis, moi, remarque que telle chose fait tel genre. Je ne pense pas que ouais, ça, je ne pense pas que ça, on te voulait dire vraiment. Mais qui j'aime moi-même m'interpréter. Ça fait mal un peu. Alors, me laisser rester là pour vous. Je qui j'aime sentir. Mais l'aime qui j'aime sentir réaction par moi. Je ne pas attaquer vous. Ça, moi-même, moi sentir. Alors, c'est à vous de décider où. Est-ce que vous voulez agir, continuer à agir comme ça pour me froisser Wilny qui en est moi. Ça, c'est ce type d'approche.
Et non seulement ça, moi-même, en particulier, moi j'aime le monde bon moi feedback. Parce que j'aime become the best person that I can be. So, je toujours encourager monde. You know, parle avec. Mais papa m'a toujours dit, c'est Jean parle avec.
Exactement.
On m'a dit n'importe bagaille.
C'est Jean dit.
Exactement. Yeah. Well, with that, we are going to take another break.
Okay.
We'll be right back.
Okay.
Mal, moi, pas contre ça, moi, fait, m'a payé. Devant me ride, y'aime ses coups de pipois, y'a blagué dans dôme. Moi pas connaître qui ça, moi fait yo m'a payé. C'est pour ça même qui rend la vie en danger. Mon Dieu c'est où qui gagne pouvoir quand oui souple potem c'est coup en bas, mal fait yo.
Souple potem c'est coup
en bas, mal veillant yo.
Oui connaît wa bonne justice
en bas, médisant yo.
Oui connaît wa délivrer moi.
En bas, mal parlant yo.
Oui connaît ou pas blaguer moi.
pale mal, moi pas contre ça, moi fait yo, m'a payé. Yo met pale, yo met pale la, yo met pale, yo met danse, yo met disa, yo met pale. Boucho pou yo met pale la, yo met pale, yo met pale la, yo met pale, yo met danse, yo met disa, yo met pale. Moi son ma pou pap kase kwem la, yo met pale, yo met pale la, yo met pale, yo met danse, yo met disa,
where the facts of life are exposed.
Nous paraît chaque samedi, comme on toujours connaît, vers 2h. Nous avons toujours qu'à bas au conseil pour nous rester ensemble, main dans la main.
We're back and we're continuing our conversation about emotional health, psychological health, and I am really vibing with this conversation. I love talking about it. You mentioned earlier that some people may not be receptive to good advice or feedback because they get the feeling that it's a parent speaking to a child. But is there a way for parents to speak to children?
That's a very, very good question, in the sense that I deal with kids a lot who are deeply hurt by their parents. Problem is the parents don't know that. Because every parent has a way of being with themselves and with other adults. And at times parents forget children are more intelligent than they seem to be. Children understand perceptions more than we think they do. So when we come across to a child as being accusatory or dictatorial, like an adult, they become defensive. And when a person becomes defensive, the ears don't work. They're not listening to you. Okay? So it is very important that a parent understands that when you're talking to a child, you're talking to a human being. You need to be gentle, you need to be kind, you need to accept them for who they are, and that they have a right to their own opinion, and that we have to treat them like a human being. And I remember in some cultures I grew up with, kids were to be seen and not heard. That's atrocious. They have a voice, and they have to be allowed to voice themselves. Now, we teach kids respect.
Okay.
They have to speak to us respectfully.
Yes.
But they really should be able to express themselves respectfully with any idea they have, whether we agree with that idea or not. So I'm saying when a parent disagrees with a child, just like we talked about earlier about being respectful with another adult, we have to show respect to children, even when they're misbehaving, even when what they are doing is not right, they are in the wrong. The fact that they are wrong doesn't give us the right to be disrespectful to them. And that's where the issue is, I find, when I work with children. It's the level of disrespect that the parent shows toward them that cuts the child down emotionally. And some research in psychology have shown that when a child grows up in an environment where he or she's treated like that, constantly cut down, their self-esteem takes a hit. And their emotional development is stunted. So we find a lot of adults who are ready to take on the world, but emotionally they cannot handle it because somewhere in their background, a parent stunted them with the way they were treated. So this idea of how a parent should treat a child with respect is extremely important to the development of the child and to the child becoming an adult.
Now, vous mentionnez pi bonheur que le deux moun a parlé yon ak l'autre, si yon prend rôle parent, l'autre nan prend rôle ti moun nan, que yo pas bien communiquer. Mais nous trouvons dans la communauté haïtienne que parents c'est tout bagaille. C'est un coup, yo c'est Dieu, yo pas jamais en tort, yo pas jamais fait mistake, and for petit lan submit themselves. Comment t'as conseillé parents haïtiens communiquer effectivement avec petit yo?
M'ta dit parents haïtiens, il faut changer que si moun nan, même s'ils sont si moun liés, li gen cœur, li gen âme, li gen pensée,
li gen esprit,
li gen feeling li. Et parfois, gen une façon de parler avec yo, comme si nous craser tout en dedans yo. Et si mon même si ça le fait mal, il pas mérité qu'on paraisse quand on juge, qu'on juge li constamment. Parce qu'après tout, si mon c'est grand moun c'est vous qui avez l'exemple qui gens pour le comporter. Parfois, ou bien si mon mauvais exemple, il prend mauvais exemple, il comporte le même genre montré là, l'appliquer ça dit là et pour battre pour ça, ou jouer pour ça. Vous comprenez? Ça suffit. Il y a une confusion dans la tête de Simon. Qui gens même état que grand monde, ou qui agit comme ça, moi-même agis même genre, et pour battre moi pour ça. Ou jouer pour ça. Alors, il faut nous penser que Simon, même si son Simon lié, il y a un esprit, il y a un cœur, il y a un feeling. Il faut nous prendre temps, nous prendre patience pour nous parler de Simon, même si ça le fait mal, avec tendresse et amour. Et une dernière chose, tout, entre guillemets, c'est que parfois, parents eux-mêmes ont un propre problème, pas eux, que ne pas résoudre. Ils ont passé ça dans la tête, nerf, tout ce petit monde. Petit monde, recevoir, ça, ils n'ont pas supposé recevoir. Et ce n'est pas faute.
C'est pour ça it's very important pour nous capable identifier feeling nous et pour nous prendre une pause pour nous capable réfléchir pour qui ça me sentir comme ça. Parce que surtout nous-mêmes immigrants, là nous venons dans un pays comme ça, c'est travail nous venons travailler. Nous pas venir dans plaisir comme ça, nous fatigués en pile. Nous gagnons pile douleur, nous songer pays nous la caille nous. Et là bon petit monde qui vient cap nuit ou pas tellement capable de reconnaître que you fatigué. So just réagir. So how can you, comment pour ta conseiller qu'un monde vraiment reconnaître côté frustration absortie?
OK. Avant de répondre à une question, tu m'expliquer une sorte de choses. Chaque groupe immigrant a une propre psychologie. Vous comprenez? Par exemple, étant qu'haïtien, nous avons une psychologie haïtienne. Nous avons une sorte de mentalité, nous quittons le pays, nous avons une mentalité. Là, nous venons ici, nous jouons l'autre mentalité que nous marions ensemble. Ça signifie qu'on a une mentalité spécifiquement haïtien-américain, haïtiano-américain. Et si mon a grandi, il a l'autre mentalité. Il a une mentalité purement américaine.
Et vous ne comprenez ni.
Il ne pas comprendre nous non plus. Ou pas comprendre ni, il pas comprendre nous.
Lui-même, il pas comprendre nous.
Alors, ou paraît là, ou ça quoi haïtien, mais ça me t'apprend des petits mots, c'est consulté, et lui-même la regarde quand on est étranger. Quelle planète ou sorti là? Il ne pas comprendre nous du tout. Ça signifie que l'on parle avec lui, ou après lui, ou papier, lui-même il tendait bla 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 bla. Plus ou relais, plus bla ou plus fort.
Et puis, il just tune you out.
Il n'a pas écouté encore. Tout ce qu'on a dit, c'est Tintin. Il sorti, qu'est-ce qu'il écoutait? Zami l'écoutait. Ou pas vin parent encore, c'est Zami qui viennent parent. Parce que quand il réalise que ou pas comprendre ni. Ou pas comprendre ça l'a passé.
Et ou pas voulait comprendre.
Ou pas voulait comprendre ni. Ou pas comprendre qu'on pas comprendre.
Wow! Wow. But you know, m'bral di ou, ça me comprend, c'est que nous besoin pour une petite pause.
D'accord.
Pas oublier ça ou t'as dit, non?
Non, pas oublier.
Remember what you were saying, and we'll be right back.
Connexion.
Connexion.
Une émission présentée tous les lundis de 7h à 8h sur Union 9 Télévision par Domitessi.
Connexion, c'est la jonction entre tous les Haïtiens. Soyez toujours branchés, puisque vous allez avoir des rubriques telles que Info 9, réaction, sans oublier réponse. Connexion sur Union 9 Télévision.
Union 9 Télévision.
Avant nous te prendre une pause là, on te dit que nous pas comprendre que nous pas comprendre. That is so interesting. So, qui ça nous capable de faire pour nous capable commencer à comprendre une avec l'autre?
OK. Sa question soit posée à son question qui dure. Facile à répondre, dur à appliquer. Dans le sens que, imaginez deux mondes qui sont dans deux pays différents, qui parlent deux différentes langues. Faut un traducteur.
Yes.
Faut une traduction. Parce que si moun Antillais qui élevé aux États-Unis, qui ont parents qui étaient faits dans les Antilles, lui-même les fait ici, ils parlent deux langues différentes. Ça fait que parents lui-même, c'est lui qui pour essayer d'apprendre le langage de moun. Qui j'en fait ça? Poser question. Au lieu d'accuser Timoun de telle chose, même si vous connaissez fait ça, posez une question. Par exemple, Timoun vient à l'école, il sort de l'école, là où est-il? Typiquement, parents anti-abdo, ou par contre, on suppose là à 3 heures, il est 4h30, qui côté, là, pour les commencer à relais. Et Timoun, il était de l'école, il a fait devoir bien tard.
OK. So, déjà blâmé ou déjà condamné.
Ou condamné, qui ça le prend de poser la question?
Il va vouloir répondre parce que n'importe ça ou dit, n'importe ça le dit.
Ou pas tenir. Ou l'autre scénario, si mon enfant, chérie, les 4h30, oui. Ou t'es supposé à 3 heures, ça passe où? Qui sont tes faits? Ou a différence là?
Different approach.
Ou pas accuser lui, ou poser une question. Alors, ça m'a dit, traduction qui pour faire là, c'est pour le faire à travers des questions. Puisqu'on pas connaît, on pose une question. Si on agit d'une façon tout à fait différente. Chérie, qui ça va passer? Qui j'en sais rien? Mais, on nous faut marcher arrière un peu. Pour qu'on pose des questions, il faut une relation avec Timoun dans tout.
Very important.
Parce que, on se dit tout à l'heure que nous venons ici de notre travail. C'est ça, nous venons chercher un petit bagage.
Nous venons chercher la vie.
Typique parent hier, les travail dur. Parfois, il n'y a pas de temps pour connecter avec Timoun. Imaginez que un parent typiquement américain passe environ 8 minutes par semaine avec Timoun. 8 minutes par semaine à la moyenne.
Wow.
Ici aux États-Unis. Un parent entier, encore moins.
Wow.
Vous comprenez? Ça signifie que vous n'avez pas de temps pour Timoun, pour parler avec elle, pour causer avec elle, pour dire certaines choses. Et immédiatement, on seul leur cause avec elle, le problème.
Le a puni.
Le a puni. Est-ce qu'on a une relation avec Timoun? On n'a pas de relation avec Timoun. En pile société, c'est nous jouer Timoun. Nous ne pas parler avec eux, nous pas une conversation. C'est leur font bagarre mal, nous communiquer. Ça m'a suggéré qu'on y a. Auditeurs, vous qui écoutez ce qu'on a dit là, me suggérez que nous établissons une relation avec Timoun. Faites une conversation. Qui en journée à t'aider? C'est une question. Qui sont fait l'école aujourd'hui? À l'ado, rien, non? Pas après ça, continuez. Alors, on dit, ou pas faire rien. Alors, tu es chuté sur le banc, ou pas faire rien. Fais un petit joke, ou un petit plaisanterie avec lui. Taquinez un peu. Au commencement, ça parle pas aller. Mais si on fait ça régulièrement, au fur et à mesure, la papa prend, maman ne veut pas laver vraiment.
Wow.
Papa ne veut pas laver. Et puis, au fur et à mesure, il a débouché. Problème, nous pas passer assez. Nous voulons que tout bagage fait instantanément quand on microwave. Si nous n'avons pas microwave, il faut nous prendre temps pour nous développer une relation avec eux, laisse la traduction à fait. entre Timoun qui fait ici et parents qui étaient faits ailleurs?
Well, you know, en parlant de microwave, bien content de mentionner microwave. Parce que pour moi-même, microwave, son pas besoin du tout la caille moi. Moi, déjà fait expérience. Là où chauffe, on mange dans microwave.
Oui.
Il va être chaud, non? Il va être chaud du tout. C'est pour ça, me dit, you know what, m'a mette manger m'soufou, m'a le mettre du feu en bas pour le capable rester chaud plus long. And it's good that you mentioned that the microwave thing, ou pas capable expect pour ou just beep beep beep, that's it pour petit monde capable ouvert ba ou, it's not gonna happen. Mais ou t'es mentionné que li prend un petit temps pour former new habits. Combien de temps il prend pour former?
3 semaines ou 21 jours. Pour faire une nouvelle façon de faire. Parce que le cerveau humain, très très compliqué, hein? Dans le cerveau humain, il y a des filières, comme une autoroute, un highway. Et chaque fois que vous commencez en habitude, le cerveau a fait une sorte de highway. Et highway est permanent. Il ne va jamais disparaître. Ça signifie que ça prend 3 semaines ou 21 jours pour créer une sorte de highway d'habitude, bonne ou mauvaise dans le cerveau. Ça signifie un petit monde relation ça. Faut te poser même question chaque jour pour 3 semaines. Qui parent pas le faire ça?
Aux parents qui voulaient former une relation avec.
Ça signifie que faut parents ont une volonté. Sauf les vraiment une relation. Mais maintenant, résultat dans 10, 15, 18 ans, sont belles résultats liés.
Beautiful.
Vous comprenez?
Beautiful.
Mais ça prend temps.
All right. Well, we're going to take another
break.
You know the routine
yes,
now.
Yes, I do.
I think I said it 21 times.
Yes.
And now you got the routine.
Yes. Break time.
We'll be right back.
C'est vrai yo dit la caille nous gagne problème. Mais pour nous connaître gagne en pile richesse. Pour qui nous pas chercher les têtes ensemble. Pour le retourner tel des outils. Nous gagne bel soleil, belle plage, belle rivière, belle cette histoire. Visite à sortir tout partout. Souvent nous toujours dit, la rue c'est salon peuple là. Côté monde n'a passé, pas effort, pas jeter, pas drap. N'a construit un pays, tout Haïti va fier de lui. C'est vrai yo dit, pays pas développé. Mais faut songer le gain en pile valeur. Si nous travaillons payon l'autre demain, la retourner terre d'estime. Nous avons fête champêtre, vaga carnaval, belle côte, belle chute d'eau, visiter cabine appréciée. Souvent nous toujours dit, la rue a ses salons peuple là. Côté monde n'a passé, fait effort, pas jeter, pas drap. N'a construit un pays. Étranger pral content vini. Bon bagay. Ah oui. Haïti chargé belle site historique. chargé beauté naturelle, bel paysage, belle rivière, belle plage, plateau central. Sonoba saisi, l'un rive non sud, montez pas salut, l'un nous passe non nord, l'un rive non tempérin.
And we're back. We've been talking a lot about emotions, how we should deal with each other as family members, spouses, lovers. Now, typically, as people of color, we don't believe in therapy. God, Jesus, is the chief therapist. And from what I'm hearing from you, you said that you've been in this field for 20 years. Now, what would you say to someone who says, oh, I don't need therapy, or oh, I go to church. It's not necessary.
Great question. One of my favorite questions, actually. Here's the deal. If you need surgery because you have an appendix that bursted,
whoa,
you can pray to Jesus all you want. If you have surgery, you're going to die. You know what I'm saying? If you have a heart attack, if you don't go to the hospital and see a medical doctor, you will die, and you can pray all you want. We call that presumption. Mental health is just another segment of who you are. You have your physical health. You also have your emotional and mental health. So if you have a mental illness or the sign of a mental illness, you need to see a brain doctor, a head doctor. It so happened that's what I do for a living. And it is absolutely important that we nurture ourselves. Just like I get a regular physical every March. I'm about to in a couple of months. I call my primary care physician, I make an appointment, I get a full physical to make sure I'm okay.
That's true.
I recommend anyone, really, yearly, you should have a therapist that you could call. Just go in for a checkup. How am I doing emotionally? How am I doing mentally? Because too many people I know have emotional issues that they're not even aware of. And they get into relationships and they do more damage to the relationship because they didn't take care of themselves. It's like having a virus and you contaminate someone with a virus, either when you didn't know you had the virus, or number two, you had the virus and you knew, and you decided, okay, I can handle it on my own. It's the same thing as mental health. If we have an emotional or mental issue and you don't take care of it, you will affect someone else by your attitude, by the way you react. So it is absolutely important that we take care of ourselves emotionally, because as we do that, we take care of those we love.
Love. It's really important.
Yeah.
And a lot of people say, well, even if you don't do it for yourself, do it for the ones you love.
Exactly.
So is there a way for us to know if we have mental issues?
Wow, that is a hard question, because to discover if you have an emotional mental illness, you need to consult a professional. Back to what I said on an earlier segment of this show, I suggested you need to have at least one person in your life who tells you the truth.
With love.
With love. Typically, if we have that person and something is wrong with us emotionally or mentally, that person will tell us, okay? There's an old saying, if more than one person tell you have a haste sticking out the side of your mouth, you know, they're all saying, you may be a horse and not know it, okay? So if more than one person tell you emotionally you kind of not doing okay, you need to listen. Here is the thing. If one person tells you, okay. If two person tells you, pay attention. If a third person tells you the same thing, do something. Pick up the phone, call a mental health professional, check in. If I may put a plug, I hope you don't mind for myself, at the end of this show, my website and cell number and email will be at the bottom of the screen.
Sure.
Give me a call, send me an email, and I'll do your consultation. And I can tell you in 15 minutes in talking to you what issues you may be facing. Yes, I'm that good. No, there are certain key questions we ask in our professions, and we know. So if you're not sure, give someone who's a professional a call. It doesn't cost you anything except a call. My 15-minute consultation is absolutely free. I do it as a service to the community. Next visit, I'll charge you. But it's important to me that people take care of their mental health. Here's a burden that I have, which makes this question so important. Two things, actually. In the immigrant community, especially immigrants from the third world, we do not take care of our emotional and mental health because we think it's taboo to call a psychologist, a psychiatrist, of someone who's dealing with emotional health. That's an issue that I have. Another issue, would you realize in my practice, 90% of my client or patients are women.
Wow, well.
Men don't come to therapy, generally speaking. The men who come, they're dragged by their women. It's very hard for a man to make a decision of himself. I need to see a therapist. I need to get counseling. So I want to plead to the men who watch this wonderful program. If you're feeling kind of out of whack, imbalanced, things have not been going well with you lately, consult a mental health professional. Send me a quick text or an email. 15 minutes of consultation. We'll talk. It is sometimes that's so important. Just check in. And I may say, or the mental health professional say, hey, you're going through a stressful period right now. Do this and that, you'll be fine.
So it doesn't mean it's a staying forever?
No.
Okay.
One of the things a lot of us practice is what we call brief therapy, where you see someone for 6 weeks.
Okay.
Okay? That's
a month and a half.
A month and a half. 6 weeks, 6 consultations, just a check-up to get you back on track. Of course, there's long-term therapy with people with serious or mild mental health issues. But most people need a checkup of 6 weeks to 3 months. That's it.
So at least there's a term. There's a start date and an end date.
It's not forever. It's not forever.
You know, a lot of men, from what I've heard, they don't want to go to couples therapy because they figure that the therapist is on the wife's side.
Right.
And, oh, now I'm going to have two people pointing their fingers at me.
Yeah. Let me tell you the thing I tell couples when they come to see me. I tell a couple, listen, I'm not your judge. I'm not your parent. I'm just a third eye. Okay? When you look at each other, you see each other for what you want to see. My job is to look at you for who you are. I'm not here to judge. I'm going to reflect what I see. I'm like a mirror. And I'm going to reflect what I see. So I can't take your side and I cannot take the other person's side. So I have to reflect what I see, then I put it on the table, then you have a choice what you're going to do about it. I will make some suggestions on what you could do if you choose, but it's always your choice. Once in a while, I will notice something about the male or the female that I need to talk to them one-on-one. And I'll say to them, it'll be nice for you next time to come alone. So we'll have a one-on-one talk.
So that they can speak freely.
Freely.
Okay.
I do that. And sometimes there are some adjustments to be made in one person. And I do that. Then I bring them back together and they work better.
Earlier you mentioned that if you are getting feedback from your loved ones and people that are close to you that something's a little off, you may want to seek mental health or some type of mental therapy. Now, what if you're the outside person and you see something in a loved one? How can you approach that person without hurting their feelings?
That's a really good question. That's a harder one to do, especially when it comes to emotional and mental health. Because the first thing the person will react, what, you think I'm crazy? That's a typical human reaction to that kind of thing. So you need first to have a level of relationship with that person where you can have that conversation. Because not all conversations can be had with just anyone. Hopefully, if you're not close enough to that person, you should be able to find someone who is. If you are that close, the conversation is simple. Listen, I've been watching you lately. I just get the sense you're just a little off. I don't know what that is, but I'm concerned. You know, I really care about you. And I just would like to see you back on track. May I suggest that you call someone who's not me? Because maybe I'm too close. Someone who can give you a professional perspective of where you are right now. Just check in. See, so that's a conversation you can have with someone. And leave it to the person to accept it or not. If they do, great. If they don't, back off. The mistake we make sometimes is that once we make that suggestion, we hound them.
And nag.
And nag. People need time to digest something like that. Because that's serious. You're talking about their mental health, okay? You need to give them time. And sometime you plant the seed, give the seed a chance to grow, okay? You don't have to save the world in one day, okay?
Thank you so much for that, because this is a very delicate topic.
It is.
And if you really do care about someone, and you want to see them at their best, you have to know how to approach them effectively. Earlier we talked about different habits and different cycles that have been taught to us from generation to generation and even through slavery. And I've found that a lot of us can be very derogatory.
Yes.
And from what I understand, it stems from slavery. Because if a parent didn't want their child to be sold, they would talk them down. Oh, don't sell this one. This one is worthless, massa. This one is not going to do anything for you. But that was a way to keep the child.
Exactly.
But now we're not in that situation anymore.
Exactly. Earlier, I referred briefly to what we call ancestral psychological history, where within our ancestry, we have a lot of wrongs that were done just to survive. What you just said is a prime example where the slave master, to devalue the slave, they wouldn't have a big head, kept them down. And at the same time, the parent of the slave, the family of the slave, copied that behavior to keep him down so they wouldn't be sold and all of that. And through our ancestry, because I don't know, I need to show the audience, there are big studies being done where our behavior actually affects our DNA. Okay?
The behavior affects the DNA.
And actually can modulate and change the DNA. There are some psychiatrists and psychologists that suggest that behavior becomes DNA. Let me give you a prime example. You can have a child who's born of a certain father. In our generations, in our cultures, we have a lot of kids who are born out of wedlock. They don't know where their father is. And the father happened to have a bad habit. The child never met the father. The child, when he reaches a certain age, has the same bad habit that the father had at that age. The behavior is in the DNA. So sometime with our slavery background, we've inherited a lot of negative behaviors. And the biggest fight for those of us of African descent or descent of slavery is fighting DNA.
Wow.
That's the biggest fight, fighting DNA. And this is why I mentioned earlier this whole idea of creating new habits over 3 weeks. Well, that 3 weeks goes in threes. 3 weeks become 3 months. 3 months become 6 months. And 6 months, and all in periods of threes, the more we do these behaviors to fight DNA, it begins affect the DNA in 21 months.
Okay. So it is possible, to progress.
It takes time. But here's the deal. The word, just like in raising a child, the key in child raising, and I know you're going to talk about that later, is consistency. Key in changing our behavior is consistency. So to fight that slave DNA, we have to be consistent with ourselves. We choose a certain behavior and we practice it over and over and over again. And slowly over time, we do affect that negative DNA.
You know, Uncle Will, I really appreciate the jewels that you've shared with us today. I have learned a lot of things that I'm going to be able to share with others. And I think I'll better be able to check myself and kind of stay on that path that I want to be on. So thank you so much for being with us today.
You're very welcome, and it's been a pleasure to talk to your audience, and I hope you will share the love.
Know who you are. Celebrate your culture. Life is a festival. Explore it with me, Lady May. Join us live Saturday from 6 to 7 p.m. Let's share information. Naptons-nous chaque samedi, 6h pour 7h du soir, as we discover Afro-Caribbean culture on Union 9 TV. L'union fait la force.
Union 9 Télévision. Amis téléspectateurs, vous êtes branchés sur la télévision des Haïtiens vivant dans les territoires d'outre-mer. Une dimension nouvelle avec une qualité supérieure. Union 9 Télévision, une vraie source d'information impartiale.